Hi, this is Jacqueline here with the Grow Program. Thank you for growing with me on today. This is a different podcast. This podcast is very, very different. See, I'm not in no studio. I can't be sitting behind no walls. I got to be out in the midst of God when I can, every opportunity that I can. Okay, I mean, so what's going to happen is, the Lord revealed this to me today, that sometimes you gonna hear what's going on outside. As I'm outside, I try to go find peace. I really do. I try to go find peace. So every day I got to do some traveling to kind of find peace a little bit. I go here, I go there, I go a little bit of everywhere so I can be out in the midst of God. See, because four walls is not going to motivate me to do nothing but just sit there and look at them four walls. What can four walls really motivate you to do? So I want to be out in the midst of God, because therefore that's where I'm lifted at. Out in the midst of God, not in front of no TV, not calling you up, say, hey, did you hear about such and such? Did you read about this, that, and that? Do you know about this? See, because as I'm going to check and see what I need to check on, I fall upon the oppression. Now, I'm not going to always talk about the oppression, except when it comes to the evil, hate, and injustice that we have going on each and every day. Okay, so let me say this. I said this to say that. So let me tell you this. I talk fast and I talk like an ancestor. I'm college educated, but I didn't graduate. You hear me? Okay, but I got a word to tell you from the Lord. Thus said the Lord, if you can keep up with me, sometime you may have to rewind. Sometime you may have to turn it down, because I get a little hyped up. I always get hyped up when it comes to talking about what thus said the Lord. Bringing you the word of God. God said to love, sow love, and grow love. God told me to grow. So I spoke it out, and there it is. 45 countries later. Okay, let me get back over here. Now listen, what I was talking about, Bill Cosby. Like I said, I'm not always going to commentate on the oppression. I'm here to sow love and grow love, okay? With that being said, Bill Cosby, I never missed an episode as a child. I even didn't even know that Bill Cosby and Friends, that Bill Cosby was Fat Albert's voice then. What kid do you know read the credits? So I didn't know that. But I love Fat Albert, honey, and I would take them Fat Albert lessons to heart. I believe Fat Albert. What Fat Albert tell me do something right, I believe that. And I did what he said. So, back then, I'm telling you something. You can say this and say that about the man, but I will tell you this. God commands us to love, and I will say this. I stand on the shoulders of Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby was a freedom fighter. Bill Cosby has made the way for many people. And also got to turn around over here, because me too, I'm a survivor also. I was raped as a child and as a woman. And also, I had so many uncles molest me that I stopped telling mama. See, I stopped going to tell mama, because I just felt mama would stop believing me. It's just sad. I can get all off into that, but I'm not getting into that right now, because that's not what I'm here for. I'm not here for that. So I'll tell you something, ducking and dodging the spiritual warfare out here, honey. Okay, anyway. But I'm me too. I'm a survivor too. Honey, I was walking home one day from school. I was so sick on my period. I even told him I'm on my period. He didn't even care. He made me take the tampon out anyway. And he did what he had to do, honey, and dropped me back off on the street. And I went in the hospital because I was so sick from my cramps. So me too, so I'm just saying. I'm sympathetic on both sides. That's why I can tell you I done had a life of oppression, a life. I could have allowed this. I could have allowed that. I could have allowed that. I could have allowed that. It's just everywhere I turned was oppression. Everywhere I turn around, you spin the look. You remember that cardboard arrow? You just take your finger and spin it. Everywhere it landed, it was oppression for me, honey. A life of oppression. But God carried me. God brought me out. God brought me here today as a warrior. And as a warrior, here I stand. So I'm gonna tell you something. When it comes to the injustice that happened in this United States, we got injustice. It's injustice all around the world, everywhere. You know, this justice system ain't no justice system perfect. You know, so that's why I personally don't believe in the death penalty. No, I don't. You know, let them stay in prison and think about what they did for the rest of their life. And then let God be the judge after that. You know, that's how I feel. But, you know, I understand this day we got all the other stuff going on, but I'm letting you know, we ain't got no perfect justice system. You know, the lawyer made a deal and thought he could go do something else. Look at here. This ain't no perfect justice system. So now, you know, they set him free. He free. Let's move on. Let's agree to disagree. You know, let's move on from this. It's time to rise from this. That's why I believe, I can't speak for her, but I believe my dear sister, you know, the queen, Miss Felicia, I believe that's where she was coming from. He ain't never said nothing to her. He ain't never did nothing to her like that. However, she also understands her sisters, you know, over here. She understands them too. You know, so, you know, I'm telling you, now you can't even speak your mouth. You can't say nothing. You can't talk. You know, except I will tell you this, we need to get rid of hate speech, because hate speech is what is the problem here on this earth. We need to sow love and grow love. You know, we are not the judges in this life. You know, for those who have to give an account, they give an account. You know, but we got Mr. Kevin Strickland out of Missouri right now. Mr. Kevin Strickland in Missouri. The governor won't even let him out. The prosecutor has said he's innocent. The judges, the witness recanted for her testimony, you know, and the prosecutors have said he needs to be released. It's been 40 years. And then the Republican governor said, I don't believe it. I don't believe y'all. I don't believe the witness recanted. I don't believe any of this. So he just going to be the judge and leave this man sitting in jail. See, that's what I'm saying. We don't have no perfect justice system. It is what it is, you know, but it's going to be different. Y'all heard somebody say that. And I'm telling you, that really bugged me. It is what it is. I don't like hearing that, because it don't have to be. We can be the change one by one till evil and hate are done. Genuine equality and righteousness is what we striving for. And we striving at the same time to reach our greatness in God. You know, we got to rise and reach our greatness in God each and every day, kings and queens. You know, keepers of the dream. I'm telling you, let me slow down a little bit. Let me soak it in a little bit. God is good all the time, and all the time, God is good, honey. I done went through a whole lot in my life, a whole lot. And this last thing here, where I put my everything into my marriage, honey, that right there almost defeated me. That almost took me up out of here, because I said, well, Lord, look, I done everything. I done did everything. Here I am. Lord, this is my all. You know, because I was following up behind being a Christian wife. This is what she's supposed to be doing. She's supposed to be doting up, running up behind him. She's subservient to him. But at the same time, you know, I was married to a narcissist, honey. If it wasn't for God, that would have took me on out of here. That's why I'm telling you, there is a God. And God showed me, because I was in a house with demons and with evil spirits. God showed me that he was in charge. God rose up for me, honey. Rose up on my behalf. And here I am today to tell you a better way, to tell you to turn around, to put that gun down, to put that pistol down. It's time to rise up. It's time to reach your greatness. I'm telling you, don't fall for the setups. Don't fall for the traps. Look up, because you about to fall. I'm telling you, these young people, honey, Chicago, I'm mourning with you. I am mourning with you, but at the same time, Chicago, we growing in Chicago. We gonna rise over this evil. I'm thinking about you over there in Japan. You know, I'm thinking about those of you lost in the mudslides, the things I read about. I'm thinking on the Gulf of Mexico, the ocean life on fire. This world is on fire. They doing so much to us. Every time you turn around, it's something that's some injustice. But we got to rise up, kings and queens. We got to rise up and grow. We got to take a stand now in God. See, we don't need to be down there marching. We don't need to be doing that, because, see, when we do that, there come the evil. The evil coming to burn up the buildings. Evil coming to do this. Evil coming to do that. Evil coming to just shoot up some folks. You know, it's just a sad day and time that we are living in. It's sad for our children. However, this is God's earth, and God's will shall be done on earth as it is in heaven. You know, on the kingdom, on the other side of the sun. You know, that's what I'm talking about, hon, over there. beyond, but now we are here. Yeah. The oppression, sometimes the oppression leads to depression. When you focus on it, focus on the solution. The solution is to grow. The solution is to sow. The solution is to rise, like a great big tide, get on up, rise up in God and grab your people and tell your people to grow. Tell your people to sow the seeds of love everywhere you grow. I'ma always try to go somewhere where it's quiet and peaceful like this. See, because they ain't started out shooting the fireworks yet. So the Lord said, I really need to start recording early like I used to do, but I got my grandbaby, so I got to deal with him, and my daughter, sometimes. So, and I cannot, I can do it sometimes, but it's really almost impossible to broadcast out the lighthouse because there's so much going on in the lighthouse and around the lighthouse. Distractions over there, spiritual warfare over there going on too. So I have to get away from the lighthouse. The lighthouse is wherever I'm at. So, beaming light towards you, lifting you up in God, telling you it's a better way each and every day. It's a better way in God. So let's turn from the oppression. Let's look to the solution. Let's agree to disagree. I'm telling you something, because in the end, righteousness and genuine equality gonna flow like a mighty stream. They are, I don't care what dream them Republicans on, they gonna flow like a mighty stream. I'm telling you something, ain't all Republicans ain't bad, and I can't say that. I used to be a Republican. All Republicans ain't bad, and all Republicans ain't on no bad agenda. Just same with Democrats, honey. It's good and bad in both of them, I'm telling you. But I can tell you this right now. It done changed. That party done changed. It done changed. See, because now you going behind some stuff. You're not saying what you're standing for, and you're not showing what you're standing for. You're not showing what you once stood for, which is the people. Now it's done turned, the tables done turned, and this party here is showing who they really are for is the people. You got some Republicans that's coming over to the side of the Democrats. So that's what I'm telling you. Genuine equality and righteousness are going to flow like a mighty stream, honey. I'm letting you know right now. See, because some people see where some stuff is headed. And we're going to have genuine equality and righteousness all over the world. I'm here to tell you. That's why the message is going forth all over the world. Where Dr. King was kind of stopped because he had to travel. I don't have to travel like that. The message is going out. You see, years ago, I'm going to tell you about God. Years ago, I used to be on the radio, and I used to say, let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight. And do you know that being on the radio, I was only nationwide, like right inside the United States. But the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart were acceptable in God's sight. Now I'm worldwide. So that's a testimony. Give God a praise and shout. Give God some praise, because here I am worldwide bringing the word to you and letting you know what thus said the Lord. And this is a ministry about giving, honey. This ain't a ministry about taking. This ministry is going to give. When we break through that great big celebrity ring, honey, Grow is getting ready to do some things. Some people really getting ready to rise up. See, I'm just coming up to lift up. I ain't coming up pointing at no government, this, that, and the other. What you doing? I ain't looking at nobody, because, see, God looking at me. I can't sit there and say, well, God or the government said they were going to do so. Well, what'd you do? See, that's what I got to do. I got to just come in, step in, get in where I fit in, and lift some people up, honey. That's what I'm telling you about growing God. I'm serious about this. Pass me the side. I'm serious about this, honey. This is God. This is God moving. This ain't none of me moving. This is God moving. That's why I tell you, I can't be sitting up inside no studio somewhere looking up at some walls. What's that gonna tell me? I gotta come out here and see what God created, what God made. You see all them beautiful pictures? You need to get on Facebook. See all them beautiful pictures? Go through the whole timeline. The timeline is for Grow, honey. It's not personal. The timeline is for Grow. Go through there and see all them beautiful pictures of the clouds that I take every day. A butterfly over my house, because this butterfly is about to emerge. I put it up there, a butterfly over my house. This butterfly Grow is about to emerge. Greatness reached over oppression through wisdom. I got to be out here So sometimes, you may hear something. You may hear anything. You may hear somebody walking by. You may hear, I try to be out as peaceful as I can. But I'm just letting you know, hey, one time, do you know animals are attracted to me? And do you know one time I was out going to find peace and there was some deer there. And the deer, I was near the deer. They were near me, but I didn't want to walk past them because I didn't know if they would charge. I ain't know. But I stood there for a minute and trying to debate what to do. And then the deer stood there. They never moved. And I kind of, when I walked a little bit to go up a little bit just to see if they would move and go on in the woods. They never went in the woods. And I inched on a little bit more. They still didn't move. I inched on a little bit more and I said, no, I'm going back. No, I can't trust it. So I went on back. And so I saw some people coming. Some people were coming up the way. And the people, I can't say nothing about these people. I'm just saying, the people came on up the way and then the deer took off. So when the deer took off, when the people walked by me, I walked on behind them because then, but I'm just saying, we got to be careful. It's a spiritual warfare, honey. You don't know. You got to be careful. But animals are attracted to me. Insects, birds. I turn around in the car. It's a butterfly sitting right there beside me. Birds in the sunroof, birds all around. The birds are spiritual signs from God. I got a poem up that I wrote. The butterfly, got a poem up that I wrote. Grow is the butterfly, honey, about to emerge on the world. Greatness reached over oppression through wisdom. Let's rise. I'm meditating on you, Chicago. I'm meditating on you, St. Louis. I love you. I love you. I love you. Let's rise.